Hello everybody. Hello high vibers. In this podcast, I'm going to go through the tools of clearing space, maybe some rituals, and see what kind of timeline we got here. It's 3:33 on Thursday afternoon here in the greater Niagara Falls, and I'm in Ontario, Canada. It's a very hot day out there. I was just about to begin recording, and there is a YouTube channel that I follow along called Empath Uprising, and they happened to go on a live and they were talking about ascension symptoms and some of the barriers and some of the things that we face going through ascension. And I considered this perfect timing because I was going to come on and speak about clearing space and tools to clear space and maybe some rituals and stuff like that, and speak of different ways and different cultures and how they clear space and the importance of it. And my heart's kind of aching right now knowing that my tribe there is suffering through the ascensions and the symptoms, and I'm hoping that this will help somehow in some way. Whatever resonates or feels right for you, or something that you feel drawn or pulled to, I hope that it helps. So let's begin on the tools of clearing space. There might be some outdoor noises there. I do have some maintenance people going around. I'll try to speak a little bit louder as I am quiet spoken. But we're going to begin on these tools. So the tools are really important for us. And the twin foundations of knowledge and the use of tools have been the basis of success for our species as humans. And like all skills, space clearing has its special implements. So whether you choose to follow a particular magical tradition, such as Wicca or a Christian-based or perhaps Druid-based, maybe it's shamanic, I hope that you take a more general approach, that there are many things that can help to enhance your spiritual actions and your rituals. So a big commonality would be scents and aromas. In the world of sensation, scents and fragrances play a very important part in controlling our feelings and responses. Smell stimulates our response by association, sometimes triggering clear and detailed memories of past experiences that have been long forgotten. And these can be good or bad. Foul or acidic fumes repel us, whereas sweet and fragrant aromas tend to draw us in and closer to the source. This is the basis for choice of different incense during a particular space cleaning or during any clearing rituals. Just as they attract or repel us, some scents attract and repel negative vibrations, and others, drive them away. In the human world, our natural reaction to unpleasant smells is to try to get away from them. But in the spiritual world, negative vibrations are attracted by dirt, dust, debris, carry-ons, uncleanliness, clutter, because they have the opportunity to feed off of that presence of energy, and that's being held there. This is the reason why cleanliness is considered important and a way to keep spaces clear of old and stale vibrations. When repelling negativity in situations where strongly negative atmosphere is experienced and a serious space clearing is needed, it's ideal for aromas to drive away negative spots, negative energies. And these things can be like hot and spicy, vibrant and dynamic smells. So these fiery scents include, peppers and garlics and chilies, or things that smell really bad and foul when it's being burnt. That natural response, that's particularly averse. This has a psychic effect on persons performing the space clearing and pushing all the negativity away. And with the force of repulsion, as strong as the smell itself. So the principle applies to the use of, other herbs used to expel the negative vibrations to a lesser nature. A dried herb sprinkled on a hot charcoal fumigates the room with a smell that would not be considered particularly pleasant. However, it serves the purpose of clearing the room of psychic debris before it's filled with any positive input or charge. So both these smells, which would be asafoetida, and fumitory smells, can be used to clean a space in situations where you need to start again, perhaps when you're taking over a new office or moving into a new home. They can also be useful when gentler routines have not seemed to work for any length of time. So once a physically clean room has been established in this way, it's advisable to maintain the standard by making the space less attractive to negative energies, keeping clutter to a minimum, and having a regular cleaning routine, and ensuring that life energy is in the environment and positively charged by introducing healthy things like plants, dust-free carpets, fresh air, light, and comfort. In this way, the space will serve you rather than those things, going against you. The aromatic influences are good, not just to repel negativity, but to attract harmony and protection and balance the environment. So all fragrances can be attained in the form of aromatherapy oils, incense sticks, gums, resins, loose herbs. You can use whatever you prefer or whatever feels right with you. Aromatherapy oils can be added to water, on a burner, to gums, and resins should be burned on hot charcoals or a charcoal burner. Loose herbs can be sprinkled over hot charcoals, or they can be dried in a smudge stick or whatnot. The dried leaves sometimes can simply be lit and left to smolder in a suitable container, but you'll need to experiment with the different herbs to discover which ignite well on their own and which benefit from the extra heat in the charcoal. Once a clearing has been established, a choice of balancing or harmonizing fragrances can be used to help maintain the clarity of the space and ensure a pleasant atmosphere for the occupants of the room. This acts to keep the space positively charged until it's felt by another clearing is necessary, or, with your routine. These scents attract harmony, protection in any environment that they are burnt. So frankincense, myrrh, and lotus, and geranium are all scents that bring in positivity. The scents that repel negative vibrations used in a room can be cypress, juniper, a sage, anything that's fumitory, anything with a smell that repels. These scents encourage enhanced feelings of peace and calm. Bayberry, gardenia, magnolia, and rose. Now, a quick little activity you can do to see if the room is psychically charged or possibly could need a clearing. You can, use a candle and do a simple test to see, if you need to do a clearing. So all you need for this is a candle, a holder, some matches, in the absence of any drafts or winds. Put the candle securely in its holder and stand on a table that is out of the way of any wind or drafts. Light the candle and sit quietly and calmly by the table, but far enough away so that your breath doesn't disturb the flame. In a well-balanced room, the candle flame should burn gently with a small golden yellow flame, flickering now and then with a natural movement of the air through the room. If the candle flame sputters, burns blue, behaves erratically, jumps rapidly, or sparks, you have a confirmation that the psychic atmosphere is charged and would be benefit from a space clearing. When we use some of these remedies to cleanse the bodies, just as rooms and environments, they can be affected by undue negativity. So can the physical body, and at times when stress seems overwhelming, emotions are running high, or perhaps deep fatigue from too many demands is hindering clarity and peace, any of the following remedies will be helpful in cleansing negativity. White yarrow works to strengthen the aura and acts as a shield against negative environmental influences. Angelica is all-around auritic strengthener and protector, bringing the ability to cope with challenges or difficulties that could come otherwise and affect performance. Crabapple cleanses the body and soul of unnecessary, outdated vibrations. Olive is an energy reviver that is helpful at times when you feel overworked, overwhelmed, or just plain exhausted and tired. Vanilla acts like a psychic shield, allowing you to maintain control of your environment, atmospheres, without being affected by them. And Lotus is a spiritual harmonizer. When you're making up a remedy mix, in order of the application offers a map of the consciousness, an energy path for the psyche to follow. Adding the last essence encourages the energy to aim for spiritual harmony and peace. Honeysuckle flowers essence is helpful when you are dwelling in too much of past experiences and feel unable to move forward. Here's a quick little recipe for you. It's a space clearing room spritzer. So the following recipe can be made up and stored in a spray bottle. You can spritz it around the room to clear negativity, emotions, memories, mental stresses, or psychic unrest. The mixture is quick and simple to make and offers a convenient quick fix solution for clearing an atmosphere when time is short, such as cleansing between clients, when you're at work, just as examples. 3 drops of pine oil. It purifies and refines the energy. 3 drops of rose and geranium oil. Gives it an atmospheric harmonizer. 3 drops of cypress oil. Closes astral doors. 5 drops of lavender oil. Mental cleanser and harmonizer. 7 drops of myrrh oil for concentration and protection. 7 drops of crab apple flower essence, general cleanser. And 1 teaspoon of vodka or distilled water. Clean out the spritzel bottle with a warm salted water. Rinse and allow to dry. Measure the aromatherapy oils, the flower essence into a bottle. Add the vodka or the distilled water, which prefers the mixture and allows the oils to blend more cohesively with the water. Top up the bottle and seal and shake to blend. Spray around yourself or working on the living area whenever you feel the spirits need lifting or clearing. You can also make this room spritz cleaner with vodka and distilled water. If you're using only vodka, please allow it to breathe for 6 weeks so the alcohol is naturally burned off in the air. See what I have a little list here that I've been going down. I'm making sure I'm on point. So smoke and fire. Fire is intimately linked with light, and candlelight is often used during peace vigils, meditations, to symbolize the spirit of remembrance and peace. Apart from the historical link, the symbol of light is of hope. Fire has also been an instrument of purification. The ancient Celtic fire festivals, such as the winter festival of Yule, involves fires or beacons, not only to represent the light of life, but also to assist in the community in driving away unwanted influences. A new log was kindled from the previous year's log, which had been extinguished, preserved, and relit to ensure continuality and blessings from one year to the next. In modern times, fire is used mainly as a source of warmth, and not so much its powers of cleansing and purification, although there are several ways in which fire can be used in space clearing. Candles are the simplest way to represent fire element in the home or office. And with candles or lanterns, and one of the simplest fire rituals is to make an affirmation and light a candle. This could be something like, "May there be peace in this place," "By the power of fire, this room is filled with brightness and strength," or perhaps you like to say, "With this flame to protect me, no harm may enter here." The affirmation can be about anything, anyone you would like to call in or fill your environment. Your intent will be carried symbolically by the burning candle for as long as it remains lit. When you're working with a black candle, light it and let it burn up for 1 hour, but do not leave it unattended during this time. Before extinguishing it and removing it from the room to be buried or discarded respectfully in the earth, you should replace the black candle with a white one, allowing that to burn for, for another hour. As you light the white candle, affirm your call for peaceful vibrations to prevail in the place. You can also sprinkle some herbs on an open fire to conjure mystical atmosphere or to release and clear the area. Colors, flowers, and herbs. When you're working with fire, affirmations, certain candle colors will complement your particular requirements. And the following list that I'm going to give here is a basic guide to color correspondences. To enhance an affirmation further, you can also surround the base of your candle with flowers, herbs, oils that you've chosen to complement and strengthen the focus of your ritual or intention. Red is for power and strength and protection, and is the color of fire. Surround a red candle with carnations. Black absorbs negativity and draws away psychic intrusion. Surround a black candle with rue or sage leaves. Green promotes harmony and emotional balance. You can surround the base of the candle with roses. Light blue is for healing vibrations and peace. You can surround a blue candle with white jasmine flowers. Pink represents love, happiness, and felicity. You can surround the base of the pink candle with pansies. Yellow promotes change and new beginnings, wisdom and understanding. You can surround the yellow candle with lavender. Orange is for healthy atmospheres, positivity, and creativity. You can surround the orange candle with cloves. White is for purity and balance and all general ritual work. Surround the candle base with white lilies or carmelians. You can also use the oils or dried herbs, whatever you feel called for or called towards. Layering flowers at the base of the candle can act as a focus on what you wish to call in or change. So as you're laying each flower, you are setting that intention. A candle can be used to remove negativity by utilizing the flame to burn it away. This can be done by writing down those things you wish to release from the environment, such as the energy left in a room as a heated argument, and letting the written message be consumed by the candle flame. Once the paper has been lit, drop it into a fireproof container and let it burn to ashes completely. You can then scatter the ashes outside in the wind or into water. As you visualize it being blown away and taken away by the elementals, the negativity goes with it. Music and sound. Music and sound is a form of vibration, which is at the root of our existence. Albert Einstein asserted that living things are not solid, but dance of atoms in space. And when we look closely at the physical nature, this is indeed the case. All matter vibrates, emitting waves of energy, and within a certain range of frequencies, we respond to these vibrations and sounds. Sound can be used for protection, clearing, or harmonizing, depending on the level and tone of the sounds used. Loud, shocking noises such as fireworks, drums, for example, have been used by many different cultures to drive out evil spirits. Conversely, the gentle, almost inaudible sound of a mother's heartbeat is capable of soothing a baby to sleep. Our response to sound is largely determined by our associations we make with particular noise. Sounds in nature can either be stirring or soothing as music. Gentle, repetitive sounds such as chimes can be used to induce a feeling of peace in an environment that needs calming. Rhythmic sounds in the form of drumming are used in shamanic ritual to summon the assistance of the spiritual world. Tibetan singing bowls can produce a variety of sound vibrations that touch the body with resonance. For thousands of years, the power of sound has been encapsulated in the use of voice mantras and chants by many traditions throughout the world. Repetitions like mantra, for example, can be used to harmonize an environment. It is a simple and safe, effective method. A variety of sacred mantras and chants can be sung or played, either to clear a space or to fill it with a particular vibration after a space clearing has been done. A mantra to Lord Shiva. The following mantra to the Hindu deity Shiva is a powerful way to clear an environment of any unnecessary vibrations, especially those that are blocking you personally or stifling spiritual peace or understanding. Always burn a candle when performing this chant. Sit in front of the candle, and any representations you may have of Lord Shiva, or God, your creator, such as a statue or an image, then begin to chant namar, Shivaya. That is how it's pronounced. Narmar, Shivaya. Namah Shivaya. Rhythmically, for at least 10 minutes, repeat this. If you have a set of rosary beads, you can perform the chant in the traditional sense 108 times, moving from one bead around with each repetition. For particular different problems, you can chant this mantra for over 40 days. The mantra can also be used as a part of regular spiritual practice, which will strengthen and influence you upon you and your surroundings. The powers of sound and music and the voice can all be used very effectively for space clearing. Fast or loud music and sounds will increase energy in an environment, whereas quiet, slow, rhythmic sounds will induce a sense of peace and tranquility. A drum when played loudly with authority will help expel negative energies, and when played rhythmically, it will harmonize and raise the earth element. Wind instruments like the didgeridoo, simbas, and tingshas, Tibetan bells, and gongs can help to alleviate stress, mental chatter, and frenzied atmospheres. Sacred instruments such as the bamboo flute, the sitar, or the Orleanian harp can also balance air atmospheres. Crystal singing bowls can be utilized to balance the water element, along with water features such as fountains, fish tanks, and watery music. These are ideal for harmonizing emotions, for removing emotional conflict in the living and working areas. Noise pollution is unbelievable these days. And if you consider for a moment the myriad of modern day sounds that humans emit, which ride over and above the hum of Earth's organic life, it's not surprising that noise pollution is now a well-established problem. Traffic, machinery, appliances, loud music, and voices can all contribute to the noise pollution. Many of us will have experienced a craving for peace and quiet as a result. As we tune into more subtle sounds of the earth and simplify our lives, we have to acknowledge this orchestra of noise more seriously as a major contributor to the stress and distress at home and work. We all need to consider how much we ourselves contribute to the noise pollution, and take steps to naturalize and neutralize our part in it. By consciously filling our environment with more harmonious sounds and music, we can bring a depth of meaning to our world, way beyond mere entertainment value. If you're looking for ways to naturalize sounds around you, it is well worth exploring what is now produced by the New Age music industry, the sounds of nature and her creatures. Whale song, waterfalls, waves on the shore are often found in the background in what is known as ambient music. Crystals and pendulums. Because we are all subtly influenced by our environment and we're affected by its on a subconscious level, we may need to reveal to our conscious minds what we're sensing subconsciously. Crystals, as a part of Earth's structure, emit energy waves and natural frequencies in harmony with their biological makeup, and for this reason, they can balance and harmonize our inner and outer environments. In fact, some parts of the human body are actually crystalline structures, including our teeth. And going through these essential symptoms, with my tribe and stuff and hearing about it, knowing that we are turning into crystalline forms, having crystals around us allows us to have a smoother process in transmitting and shifting. In dowsing, a pendulum acts as a relation to our energies and our energetic impulses, revealing positive or negative responses to questioning. And we can use this technique to reveal the cause and sense of disharmony. The amethyst is part of the quartz family of crystals, and it is a safe and reliable for daily use in counteracting electromagnetic emissions. When using crystals, as children of the earth, we need to acknowledge that we function best when we are in harmony with nature. And all kinds of crystals can play a significant part in maintaining that harmony. Crystal clusters are excellent at keeping communal spaces clear. Their many points direct and charge energy positively. Placing a crystal cluster in a negatively charged room will clear it quite quickly. So to clear negativity, use smoky quartz cluster. To alleviate stress, use an amethyst cluster. And for harmonizing emotional cleansing, a clear quartz crystal cluster. I'm tongue-tied on that one. If the problem is excess energy, crystals that ground it effectively, which include smoky quartz and obsidian and hematite, chrysalia, yellow fluorite, onyx, and turquoise. They will help with the excess energy and alleviate it and ground it for you. Modern electrical appliances give out electromagnetic fields and frequencies way beyond nature's own. To give an example of Earth's electromagnetic field functions between 1 and 30 Hz. Human brainwaves range between 5 and 30 Hz. Electrical appliances are much higher than natural frequencies and range from 35 to 100 Hz. We may be subjected to these high frequencies for a considerable length of time, and we have to work with electrical equipment such as computers. Placing crystals around them will help counteract any harmful effects. Rainbow crystals, those that have rainbow colors within them, placed on a sunny windowsill, can work to bring in the colors of joy to a depressed room. They also work well where moods need to be lightened. Rainbow colors are most commonly found in clear quartz crystals. Twin crystals are attached to each other but have two separate terminations at one end. They can be used to heal relationships and underlying relationship difficulties. You can carry or wear any crystal suggested here by scaling down to size, smaller stones, or single points. Many crystals, including turquoise, quartz, and obsidian, have beneficial protective and harmonizing qualities. When you're holding a pendulum, hold the chain between the thumb and index middle fingers, leaving about 15 centimeters, 6 inches, above the pendulum free. Hold the chain with the fingers pointing down so the pendulum can swing freely. When dowsing, a simple dowsing technique can help you discover if there are any areas in your home or workplace that are energetically unbalanced. Once any imbalances have been uncovered, you can correct them by using whichever space clearing exercise seems most appropriate. Before you begin, you need to discover which pendulum swing indicates a yes and which one indicates a no. The simplest way to find out is to ask, "Is my name blank blank blank?" and wait to see if there's movement of the pendulum. You will know which swing means yes and discover which means no. You can also do, "Please show me the answer for yes and the answer for no." You can repeat this to make sure if you have a little bit of doubts. Once you have established your yes and no swings, you can start asking questions. If there's at any time the pendulum behaves in a different way to your yes-no swings, it usually indicates that you need to rephrase your question. A common error to ask a question with more than one possible answer, such as, "Is this room out of balance or not?" It's important to ask the questions of the pendulum that require a straight yes or no answer. So if you reduce the question to, is this room balanced? The pendulum will give a definite answer. Another common problem when working with pendulums is lack of movement. To facilitate a response, dowsers may swing the pendulum and fro, avoiding particular movements that indicate yes or no, to give some kind of momentum to work with. To avoid concerns that you are influencing the outcome, after asking a question, empty your mind of everything except the words, "I wonder what the answer will be," and wait for the pendulum to respond. To use the pendulum as an assessment tool for space clearing, draw a scale down the floor. Plan your chosen building. Write which room is which on your sketch. Hold the pendulum in your right hand, or your left, depending if you're right or left-handed. Place your left index finger on one area and stretch and ask the pendulum. Seems like my kitty cat wants to get in on this. Is this room energetically balanced? You ask, and when you receive your answer, make note of it. If the answer is yes, move on to the next room. If it's no, go on and ask a series of simple questions to discover what may be causing the problem, such as, is this room emotionally charged? Or is it affected by electronical emissions? And so on, until you find out what is affecting the area. Magical implements. Just about anything can be used as a magical implement, and throughout the history of magic, just about everything has been used. However, over time, certain tools have become the paramount in the general, and they are associated with the four elements: air, fire, water, and earth, together with the fifth, the spirit, which unites us and the other four. The magical symbol is the pentagram, the five-pointed interlocking star, representing this concept, bringing together the five elements that are necessary to sustain life. Each of the 4 points of the figure represents one of the physical elements, while the topmost point represents spirit. The pentagram is often traced during rituals and symbolizes protection and wholeness. Magic in the elements. Each of the physical elements has its own magical tool. The sword is associated with air, the wand with fire, the cup or chalice with water, and the pentacle with earth. The atheme is the general purpose tool, which is used as a psychic pointer. There has been some controversy among occultists regarding the correct tools to use to represent elements of air and fire. Many magicians use a wand for fire and the sword or dagger for air. This is how they depicted in packs of tarot cards originating from the 19th century, the Order of the Golden Dawn. Others believe that this was the blind intended to confuse the uninitiated and instead prefer to use the wand for air and the sword for a knife for fire. But in magic, the only thing to avoid worrying about is the basic rule is to find what feels right for you and stick to it. In the ancient past, magicians tended to be educated scholars and practiced ceremonial high magic, as if they were like high-born or were permitted to carry swords, and therefore they used them as implements for their magic. Witches, on the other hand, originated from village wise person. They were often followers of the old pre-Christian fertility religion called Wicca, and were usually advocates of low magic. Witches did not have access to the ceremonial regalia of high magic, and instead developed the tools from ordinary household objects, such as bowls, platters, kitchen knives, that were usually well versed in herbal lore. The magical implement that is appropriate to any particular ritual depends on the nature of the ritual, or working emotional matters are governed by the water element. Competitive matters by fire, mental matter by air, and worldly matters such as finance and successes by earth. This is a very generalized picture. However, another use of earth element, for instance, is calming energies and dispelling hostile psychic vibrations, as well as self-defense against occult attack. The idea behind this, and with electricity, is to run access of unwanted energies to the earth. Thus, the earth element is regularly used in space clearing. Your hand can be used as a magical implement, and at times when it's not advisable or possible to use a blade in a ritual, you can substitute the fingers of your hand as a pointer. Imagine that they are like a blade, and the hand can be held in a symbolic position, which is the first finger represents Isis, the female, and the middle finger represents Oasis, the male. The thumb is positioned between these two fingers, and the posture thus invokes the protection of the god and goddesses over their child, Horus. Assembling the tools. A sword is probably the most difficult and expensive item to obtain, but like the other implements, can be purchased from occult suppliers. You can easily make other magical implements for yourself using a little imagination. The pentacle originated as a platter or a salver. It can be made from any material, but is usually a round, flat piece of metal or wood. A wooden breadboard or coaster is very suitable. And if you can paint a pentagram on it yourself, ta-da, you have it. And an ordinary black-handled kitchen knife can be used as a theme. Any glass bowl or steamed glass from your kitchen can serve as a chalice. Much folklore is associated with magic wands. According to tradition, it has to be cut with one slash on the last stroke of midnight. This is not really necessary, but it's a way of showing respect and gratitude for anything that you take from nature, and this is important. With space clearing rituals, a ritual is an act of repeated in the formalization manner to give a greater meaning and focus to our concentration upon it. And ritualistic behavior of various kinds help to give structure and pattern to our lives. The application of rituals for space greatly enhances our energy and our determination, helping us to bring attraction, knowledge into physical play to accomplish stronger results. Preparing for a ritual. One of the ways ritual magic works through what is known as psychodrama, in which a physical enactment involving sight, sound, and other senses produces a corresponding change of consciousness, especially in the subconscious mind. This is a primal area of the mind, the basic and ancient root of the human consciousness. Psychologist Carl Jung showed it recognizes and communicates in symbols only, not in logical linguistics. Within it are stored not only our personal memories, but our racial memories reaching back through thousands of years, which come up to the surface layers of our minds in the form of instinct. Some experts believe that we retain not just radical or racial minds, but we contain memories of our pre-human ancestors. The subconscious mind reacts and enacts behavior just as it reacts real situations occurring spontaneously. So it can help you if you treat a ritual like a theatrical production, learning your part as though you were in a play. And standing and self-consciously mumbling the words under your breath, this approach can encourage you to be bold with your movements and loud and confident in your declaration of the words. Purifying and cleansing the area. Any proper magic ritual, including space clearing, needs to be written on a clean slate. If there are psychic impurities or negative energies present when the ritual is carried out, they can intrude or interfere, contaminating the result and sometimes changing it completely. As a modern analogy, we might think of such impure energy as kind of a cult computer virus. A purifying and cleansing routine acts like an antivirus program. There are two areas that can benefit: the environment in which you intend to perform a space clearing and yourself. Every culture has its own purifying and cleansing methods, from Christian bell books and candle to the pagan rites of passage. There are great many to choose from. The simplest method is burning a suitable incense and carrying uh, carrying it around the area, calming your mind and projecting the calmness out into the room with the smoke wafting from the incense. A slightly more intricate version practiced by occultists is called rose cross ritual. The lighted incense is carried around the room in a pattern traveling from corner to corner in a cross shape, then circling in the middle of the cross. The shape resembles a cross with a rose in the center, which is the symbol of the Rosicrucian Brotherhood, an occult order dating back before 1614. It is important to approach your area with preparing space clearing in a dignified and respectful manner. You can also keep a bowl of sand ready for when you want to extinguish any kind of smudge stick or incense. As you fan the smoke, strengthen the action by visualizing the herb's cleansing qualities. With smudging, the most popular purifying cleansing technique probably known is a shamanic method, an indigenous method, which has enjoyed widespread revival in recent years. This method has several advantages. And shamanic origins means it led itself to just about any magical path without causing contention, so it can be used in a prologue of any kind of space clearing ritual. It's very simple but effective, and because it needs little more input from you, it encourages magical thought and activity while you're putting together the basic tools for a ceremony. A smudge stick and a smudge fan. The smudge stick is simply a bundle of dried herbs, usually including sage. The fan should be made of feathers. A single feather can be used. The purpose of the fan is to waft the smoke all over the area, over the walls, floors, and ceilings around the doors, windows, and any other openings into the room, such as a fireplace. The nature of the wings is to send it to higher vibrations, as the wings represent wind, the universe, and all angelic higher beings, and it's asking as an assistance to waft the smoke and incense around the room. The nature of the herbs and the intention of the person who gathered and tied them together of the smudge stick and the action of the fan also drives away any negativities lingering in the area. For making a smudge stick, it's very rewarding if you can grow your own herbs and drive them, thus ensuring their magical qualities are tended to during all stages of growth, and that you honor the spirits of the herbs when cutting them. But if you have to, you can go roam into other places, parks and such, but be careful about cutting and tending. Please don't take too much, and when you're harvesting, please harvest respectfully, knowing that if you leave some, that it will continue to grow. The three suggested here for the herbs, I would say would be, for all purification, would be the best variety of sage. An American white sage or a mountain sage. All the herbs must be completely dried. You can use thyme, lavender flower stalks, Russian sage, rosemary, things that you feel drawn to or you wish to investigate, or you can just use the basics, which would be dried sage stalks, dried lavender flower stalks, dried thyme stalks, and some natural twine. When you gather all your herb stalks together and arrange them in an intertwined bundle, bind the stalks loosely with twine and trim the ends to a neatened bundle. Light one end and extinguish the flame, and let the smoke rise to fill the air. You can also, when you're wrapping your twine, know that when you're interwrapping it, this would be a good time to sing or bring a mantra in of your intention, affirmation for the smudge stick, and it adds those extra elements. Preparing yourself. For any ritual cleansing work, preparing yourself is very important. There is a saying that cleanliness is next to godliness, and that it's the stoic belief that harmful energies or evil influences will fasten onto any dirt of the body or an individual commencing a ritual. This applies equally to clothing you are wearing, so fresh, clean clothes are also recommended. Apart from this consideration, relaxing in a hot bath, especially one made of fragrance with herbs, oils, some salts, before getting into a space clearing ritual serves to put the conscious and unconscious parts of the mind in closer touch with one another as well. When you're bathing, imagine you're cleansing away all those impurities from your body and soul, and the water runs out of the bath. Visualize all those impurities draining away from you. You may like to anoint yourself with some rose geranium oil or other oils that you like that are diluted, or some sweet almond oil. Bathing ensures that all impurities are removed from the physical body prior to the space clearing ritual. Alternatively, scent some almond oil with 1 or 2 leaves harvested from a plant that you have bought to help you with your magical ritual preparations. This could be an herb from the kitchen that you know is safe. Always harvest leaves with respect and care for your plant. Another preparation often used in religious activity as well as magic is fasting. This is a valid technique, and it helps to separate the mind from its material bonds by encouraging a semi-trance-like state. However, it's not essential preparedness for space cleaning. You may like to consider a purifying diet instead, but check with your doctor first, your GP, and whether to see if this is advisable. If you feel that this is appropriate, you should begin the diet within 5 days before you plan to carry out your ritual. You can anoint your body with rose water or oil blend containing rose geranium essential oil before performing a cleansing ritual. This ensures protection, self-love, and healing. And preparation of your mind and body before you begin any ritual carries the same importance as the ritual itself. I think I've said that before, but it's really important to have yourself in that mental headspace. And even if you can go into that psychology of entering the role, it really helps you shift in being able to getting into the space and being part of the ritual and ceremony. Mental and psychic preparation is important to be in the right frame of mind when undertaking any ritual. So mental psychic preparation is also recommended. For space clearing purposes, the correct frame of mind is relaxed, confident, at peace with yourself, calm, positive, and assured. After you have bathed or made other physical preparations, a period of meditation immediately preceding the start of a ritual will help achieve calm, composure, and also a clear vision of your ritual. Space clearing is a spiritual process that can be quite draining, and its successful will depend on your mental preparation and the state of mind. Meditation can be accompanied by some quiet, spiritually inspiring music and burning a suitable incense, which should not be too thick or heavily scented. A light fragrance is best for preparation before a ritual, leaving the heavy aromas for the ritual itself, in cases where they are considered to be necessary. A banishing ritual can be performed after the meditation period. This will prepare working the area for the main ritual to come, and will also be part of your mind into the receptive state for the ritual work. There are a great many things that can disturb the harmony of nearby energies. For example, a serious argument that took place the previous day between the couple living next door could lift a heavy psychic energy vibration, like a sea with a rough swell where there ought to be smooth water. That's what it would feel like, sometimes to somebody. So such vibrations can weaken the result of a space clearing ritual and even make it completely ineffective. A banishing ritual is like pouring oil on troubled waters to smooth psychic shock waves. Such troubled vibrations can spread out surprisingly large distance, and they need to be eliminated before space clearing can even be properly undertaken. So adequate preparation is an important part of the ritual itself. An herbal bath mix that you might like would be organic oats, You can put it in some cotton muslin or cheesecloth, or even like a little cloth bag. Let's see here, seven basil leaves, 3 bay leaves, 3 sprigs of oregano, 1 sprig of tarragon, and a pinch of rock or sea salt. And make sure you thread it to secure it. You can pile all the herbs in the center of the muslin square, the cheesecloth, or into your little bag. Then add the oats. Top it with rock or sea salt, and pick up the corners and tie it with the thread. You can hang the sachet from the bath tap so the water is infused with the essence of the mixture. All the ingredients for this mix are easily available to buy, or they be grown in a herb garden or a window box. They are associated with purification and cleansing. Use fresh herbs whenever possible. Magical circles. Magic evolved through the ages in 2 broad types, referring to as low energy and high magic, as we were speaking about earlier. These terms are very generalized, and the two often merge seamlessly together. Low magic was practiced by the simplest and the poor, peasants who had no access to education, riches, or reading or writing, only their own basic experiences. In this kind of magic that originated with the tribal shaman, or the wise woman mixing her herbs in steaming cauldron. High magic grew out of it and became the province of the rich, the nobility, and the educated. As an example of the essential difference between the high and low magic, the kitchen knife was often used as the psychic pointer in low magic, and this involved the athame, the ritual pointing knife used by witches. In contrast, the upper classes permitted to carry swords, which were usually forbidden to the peasantry, and therefore in the high magic, the ritual sword is frequently used as the pointer instead of the athame, the kitchen knife. The magical implements used today no longer have any association of this kind with class structure. Today, witches use swords freely, and ritual magicians use herbs and athemes. Casting a circle. In both high and low magic, magic circle is considered indispensable. The idea greatly is simplified, and that this creates what might be called a protective energy field around the place of working, through which no hostile and negative astral forces can penetrate. Although it is seen with the eyes as a circle on the ground, the mind should perceive it as a sphere. Casting a circle is an important part of all magical crafting. In witchcraft, which follows tradition of low magic of the ordinary people, and then even in the high casting as well, the circle is always a must, and the circle of the sphere is in all natural forms. In casting a magic circle, great importance is attached to the astral beings called the guardians of the watchtowers. The watchtowers are the 4 compass points and the 4 elements, air, fire, water, and earth, to which they are linked. Air corresponds with east, fire corresponds with south, water with west, earth with north. The guardians of the watchtowers protect those who invoke their aid and ensure the security of the circle. That's in high magic. In low magic, especially in Wicca, complex rituals and magic regalia are not normally used. The corners are called, and it's more elementals, or gods, or goddesses. A simple space clearing we have discussed a bit, but drawing that magic circle is important, that you clear the space even before you cast your circle. This space clearing procedure can be used anywhere. It's short, simple ritual, but in spite of its simplicity, it's a powerful piece of low magic. As with any magical or mystical activity, you should prepare yourself beforehand. Make sure you choose a time when you will not be interrupted. A short period of meditation is recommended to calm the mind and spirit and to eliminate all disruptive thoughts from daily life intruding on the ritual. Be sure to light a candle or incense, again to clear the space. The first part of the spell involves casting a magic circle. So for this, if you do not have an theme, you can use your hand or a kitchen knife as a pointer, preferably one with either black or natural wood handle if you can, if you're using one from the kitchen. Having meditated standing facing north, slowly raise the knife of your hand with your hand to point in that direction to the north. Then turn to face the east. Imagine that you are drawing the line of pure light with the air in as you move. Then turn again and face south, and then west, and then north again until the circle is complete. As you do this, you can repeat the following circle opening invocation, saying each line as you face the appropriate point on compass, or perhaps say whatever feels right for you. I call on the guardians of the north. Protect this place from earthly wrath. I call on the guardians of the east to calm the airs and bring me peace. I call the guardians of the south. Protect me from fire's red mouth. I call the guardians of the west to lay the stormy seas to rest. When you've completed the circle, remain facing north, relax, and say something that will complete it. You can say something like, "Let blessings be upon this place, and let my circle clear the space of spirits wicked, cruel, and fell, so that I in peace may dwell." Imagine the circle you have cast spreading out throughout the universe, like a ripple, a pool, like a pebble dropped in a silent lake. The ripples will come out, bringing tranquility and peace at its center, which is you and your space. Remember, space clearing can be for your entire life. Wherever we are, we become aware of an atmosphere that we perceive through our deepest senses. The atmosphere of each place is subtly different from any other that can profoundly influence our mood. If you dislike the appearance of a room, you can change it. And the same is true of its atmosphere. Space clearing can make a room feel the way you want it to. I'm going to finish up this podcast with going over some traditional forms of clearing space. And when I put up my video on Saturday there, I will share different rituals that you can use in different traditions, and some of them, focused into different areas. I have a few here written down for space clearing for your life. Um, I have a little thing here about making a rattle maybe, and just things like making your place feel special, to change an atmosphere, perhaps some candle coloring, and also here I have some hedge rituals, a druid space clearing ritual, angelic space clearing, a Zen style ritual, a shamanic ritual, and a zodiac ritual. There's a few others I could probably put in there. If you have one that you have in mind or want to learn, please comment below or send me an email, and I will happily add it to the list. On with the folklore traditions. Many ancient space clearing ceremonies have persisted into modern age as a part of folklore tradition. The spiritual beliefs and practices of our forebears gave rise to numerous local rituals that play an important part in the continuity of the community. Traditional forms of space and clearing, like beating the bounds of an old custom, whose original purpose was the spiritual protection of the community. The village boundary line was beaten with white birch wands to ensure the safekeeping of the village, and established a magical barrier around it so that no evil spirits could enter. In later times, the ceremony also had a secondary purpose to teach the young boys who accompanied the parish officers around the village to remember the position of the boundary as a way of passing knowledge and averting future disputes around the land ownership. In Basque villages, Pyrenees, ancient uh, carnival rites have similar purpose. The men of Uterland and Zubitia, for example, wearing dunces caps and sheepskins with huge sheep bells tied to their backs, proceed from house to house ringing bells to protect the inhabitants and their flocks from evil spirits. A great many folklore traditions surround the Green Man, who embodies the vegetative energy of nature. He is the ancient legendary guardian of the woodlands, forests, and trees, who keeps out his territory and threatening orgs or other evil spirits. Images of Green Man with his head emerging from foliage have been found all over the world, but he is most closely associated in Northern Europe. In England, he is personified as the Jack in the Green, a leaf-draped character associated with the traditional May Day revels, such a chimney sweep festival still held in Rochester, Kent. His prancing about was held off to ward off evil spirits from every house he passed, and from township in general. In Scotland and northern England, the old Norse custom of first footing is still observed. A dark-haired man must be the first person to step across the threshold of a house immediately after midnight on the last day of the year. This is thought to bring luck to the household during the year ahead, and in other words, to clear its shape of negative energies, or clear its space of negative energies. Very often, the first footbringers would bring a lump of coal intended as a magical token to ensure that there would always be warmth or a friendly fire in the home. The first footer may bring some bread and some salt, symbolizing plentiful food of supply. He must not carry any weapons or sharpened tools, and no one in the house must speak until the coal has been placed by the fire, and the first footer has poured a glass of whiskey, toasted at the head of the household. It's kind of interesting when you think about it, right? Clearing personal space. Let's see, another New York, a newer one, a more modern one would be a New Year's folk tradition would be wassailing, the giving of a salutation for good health and well-being with a cup of spiced ale to clear away any evil spirits residing within a person's body. The term wassail comes from the Anglo-Saxon was heli, which means be whole or be well. There's a story of tradition of personal space clearing out toast being offered into Vorgetarian's last Roman king of Britain in the 6th century. The night of the 30th of April to May 1st constitutes the pagan festival of Beltane. This is the fire festival whose name, Gaelic for blaze kindling, is used to be the custom for pagan priesthood and to light two fires, and for the villagers' cattle to be driven through the gap between the order to cleanse them in the influence of any evil spirits. As a bonus, the process also got rid of cattle ticks. The villagers would then throw a party and jump over bonfires themselves to benefit from the magical cleansing process and bring good luck. The tradition of leaping the Beltane fires has never entirely died out and is still enacted by Wiccans and other pagans. But the more modern version of this would be the goodwill and cheer would be New Year's Eve. We're all, singing well wishes to everybody and sharing drinks. Throughout the world, though, the warmth and atmosphere of a friendly fire has always been recognized as a magical aura or of safety and protection from the powers of darkness. This may be why chimney sweeps, unglamorous lumps of coal have inheritedly become the reputations of bringers of good luck. A need to feel that some kind of spiritual energy safeguards the places we enter has always been present in the background of our society. And even though most people are unaware of the origins or of the traditions they observe or participate in, the old customs thrive that they are still relevant to our spiritual life in the modern age. Thank you for joining me on this makeshift podcast as I figured this stuff out. It was really important for me today to get this out there. I have what I call my tribe, and knowing that they're going through ascension symptoms, I'm hoping that some of these things can help my tribe. It's breaking my heart knowing that my friends and people that I care about that helped me out are possibly suffering. So I'm hoping that something resides here for my friends and for the listeners. And I will be sure to be getting more videos out on space clearing and working on clearing out some of those old energies and working on getting those new ones in for our ship. Safe journeys and many blessings. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to comment below or give me an email at rainbowwinds@gmail.com.